Welcome to Oops, I'm Evolving. I'm Morgan, and this is the podcast where we take those big, mind-blowing spiritual concepts and break them down into the real life shit you can actually use. Because let's be honest, real growth doesn't happen in the highlight reel. It happens in the shadows, in the messy, uncomfortable WTF moments. So let's talk about it, air it all out, and level up.
Hello and welcome back to another episode of Oops, I'm Evolving. I am so excited because this episode is a vibe. I've got a guest who speaks fluent cosmos and common sense. I'm talking about the one and only Reilly X. You may have found her on TikTok or YouTube or Instagram. She's an astrologer, human design guide, and intuitive coach who somehow manages to make the mystical make sense. She's equal parts witchy and scientific, grounded and galactic, and her work goes way beyond just telling you that you're a Virgo sun with a Scorpio moon and calling it a day. Reilly helps people decode their energetic blueprint so they can stop second guessing, clear the patterns that keep them stuck, and start living in alignment with how they're actually built to operate. Her sessions are transformational, not just interesting, but literally life-shifting. She's all about helping you trust your timing, honor your cycles, and step confidently into your own magic. So if you've ever wondered what the stars and your energy type might be trying to tell you, buckle up, because this is the kind of conversation that just might light a fire under your intuition and get you thinking about your life in a whole new way. All right, so there is a slight disclaimer here that before Reilly and I jumped on our call, we had technology issues. We had both thought that we had missed the meeting earlier in the week, and we had a toddler interruption on my behalf. So we really did just jump into this episode, and I don't think you would ever guess that we literally just met each other, because when you hear the amount of cackling in this episode, it is hilarious. Reilly's a generator, I'm a manifesting generator, and the amount of and I had to edit out of this episode so that you didn't just get really annoyed was hilarious. And if you don't know about a generator or mani-gen, those are sounds that they can make when their sacral is lit up and they are doing something that gives them that life force energy. This episode was really enlightening and super fun. So a few things that I want to just kind of catch you up on first. When we talk about lines, when we say we're a line 2 or a line 6, what we're talking about is profile lines. And we really do just jump into the astrology here. If you're a complete astrology newbie, cool. Listen in, see what you can gather. Maybe take a look at your own birth chart. Maybe ChatGPT what your Mars means. You can do little things like that. And then when you're ready to dive more in, call Reilly, because I'm telling you, her knowledge is amazing and you will not regret it. Okay, let's jump into the episode.
Mercury is not even retrograde anymore. What's wrong with me?
Mercury isn't even in the microwave. Like, what is happening?
What am I doing? I feel like I don't know what to do with my hands. Like, but I had felt like that for months. Like, just a mini. Do you have any Aquarius placements?
Oh, yeah. I am moon and rising Aquarius.
Oh, my gosh. Okay, very cool. I'm a Venus, Saturn, midheaven, all in Aquarius.
Okay. I haven't, I don't know those things off the top of my head.
No, you're totally fine. But I feel like I'm also a Capricorn sun and moon. And I feel
I'm
like...
Capricorn sign.
Oh, cool. I love that so much. So you also went through it during Pluto and Capricorn. So I feel like this transition, since November, I don't have the same momentum. I don't have the same power. I don't have the same anything.
Nothing is the same. No. And every single way that I used to go about doing things, nothing is working anymore.
Mm-mm. Or it's totally shutting my nervous system off and I can't do it. And I'm like, what is going on?
I agree with you. It's the most bizarre thing ever. And then I'm like it makes me feel stuck because I don't even know how to move forward anymore.
Yes.
And I know it's just the box that I've put myself in, but it's like I don't know how to make things in alignment with me anymore. And I just feel like I'm constantly fighting myself.
I resonate so deeply.
I know.
Resonate so deeply. I can't even. No, I literally can't even tell you how much I resonate, because it's like, it's also been really weird because like I'm a Capricorn sun and my husband's an Aquarius sun. And to watch the transition of Pluto and Capricorn and how it was affecting me and like watch it start to affect him, it's a really weird thing to witness, because now he's saying a lot of the things that I was saying during Pluto and Capricorn. Oh my gosh, it's so weird.
Okay. What kind of things did you feel specifically while Pluto was in Capricorn that now you're seeing in your husband? And
Yeah.
what does it mean for people like me who have Capricorn and Aquarius placements?
Yes. Yes. So I guess to be specific, I'm a Capricorn sun and moon in the 8th house. So when Pluto was moving through Capricorn, it basically shredded my concept of who I was and anything that made me feel safe. It was like it took all of that away. And I think at first I was really annoyed with that, but like towards the end of Pluto and Capricorn, and especially now that Pluto is in Aquarius, in hindsight, I actually see the power it gave me. So it's this very interesting, because you have to remember Pluto is the planet of death and rebirth. Like I think people forget the rebirth part. So they're like, oh my God, what's going to die? I'm going to die. So the thing that I think was such a big overarching theme for me as a Capricorn was who I thought I was to other people. I mean, especially with my 8th house energy, like other people's things. And like, I didn't realize how much I always just kind of put myself on standby, ready to help somebody. So it was like Pluto and Capricorn removed all of the people from my life. So now it's like, oh my God, who am I if there's no one to help, if there's nothing to fix? So it became really interesting. Like I just kind of went on a whole journey of like finding myself, was really how Pluto and Capricorn in hindsight felt. And like my husband, bless his heart, he's also going through his sati sati. I don't know if you've heard of what that is. When Saturn is transiting your moon.
Okay.
So when Saturn is on your moon, you just like also, you start to kind of lose that sense of security and stability that you thought you used to have, but it was never real. It was like something that you kind of made up. So it looks really bad for him right now, because he's going through his sati sati as he's going through Pluto and Aquarius. But I think the way Pluto and Aquarius is really affecting him is he's realizing it doesn't matter how much he works and how much he puts his heart into something. People are not going to appreciate it all the time. Like people are not always going to respect his time. He's also a projector. We're both 6'2s, but he's a projector. I'm a generator. And it's really painful to watch from the outside, because I see a part of his identity kind of shedding, of like overgiving and really even overachieving, because he's just been so good at like forcing it, making it happen. And you can't do that anymore. Like Pluto and Aquarius is worse. Pluto and Capricorn, it's almost like you kind of got good at making it happen and like, and using your will and like facing the odds. That's kind of like what Pluto and Capricorn gave us. But it's interesting how now Pluto and Aquarius feels like, are you in alignment with your authenticity or not? There's no, oh, you did the work, it doesn't matter. Are you in alignment? So it feels disorienting, because you can't fake it anymore. There's no faking it.
That I feel that to my bones, as far as like, and like, I feel like authenticity, and this is like such a soapbox that I'm on, because everybody, like when you think of authenticity on a surface level, which you know, because you're human design, but like when you think of authenticity on a surface level, you're like, like, well, of course I'm authentic. Like nobody would have ever looked at me and thought I was an inauthentic person. But then you start like looking at the ways in which you approach things that are inauthentic, like working with your human design, like working with your energy and all of that. And like how conditioning stops you from being authentic, like giant roadblock, all of these things. And you realize that it's like my last episode that I just put out was like, I was invited to be a speaker. And so, yeah, super fun, super exciting. But the way in which I was going about it was really inauthentic. And I was like hitting all of this resistance and like all this huge block. And it's like you can, the end result can be in alignment with you, and how you get there, it can still be out of alignment and inauthentic. And like that to me has been the mind fuck.
Yeah. Yeah. And the only difference I'm starting to really understand is how comfortable it is along the way. Like, universe is dragging you. You don't have to be drugged anymore. You don't have to kick and scream on your way. You can enjoy the ride, but it's hard to enjoy the ride if you have trauma, if you have conditioning. I think a big one for me, if I'm being 100% honest, is self-doubt. And it's like the thing that I'm really processing, especially with the 2 eclipses, the 2 retrogrades, I realized how much I do still doubt myself. And it's so annoying because now I'm like pissed off at doubting myself because I've been doing this for 4 years. So now it's like I'm looking in the mirror. I'm like, okay, so how many years do I have to do this before I believe I'm a professional astrologer? How many years do I have to do this before it's real and like solid? Do you know what I mean? So it's been really interesting because I feel like the Aries energy is also, so like Aquarius, Pluto in Aquarius is demanding authenticity. That is like the base level frequency. So it's weird because even if you're authentically a mess and like falling apart and you feel like you don't have anything together, people resonate more with that and they accept that more than trying to put on and like have like a fake smile. But then adding to it is now Neptune in Aries, Chiron is in Aries, Venus just moved into Aries today, I believe, again after the whole retrograde thing. I think Mercury's still in Aries. So it's like Aries is about the self. Chiron is the biggest wound. So it's like we're trying to heal the self, be aware of the self, be the self, and be authentic. And it's so like I feel like a giant scab came off and I'm this raw, open wound. And it's like I'm the healed parts. But you know, when a scab comes off, that thing looks really sensitive. You know what I mean? It looks like it's really not. It doesn't feel as safe. It doesn't feel as secure. And I feel like that's exactly what the energy feels like right now. So it's just nice to talk to other people. And they're like, yeah, I also feel like an open wound.
I don't know of anybody that has it together right now.
No.
No one.
No. Even the people who, like, I have some friends who they have it together in the basic sense of like what people want, but they're still at a place where they're tired and they're just exhausted. So even the people who do have it, quote unquote, have it all the way we've always been told, it's not fulfilling. It's not the same. It's not, there's like an emptiness to it, you know?
Yeah, I totally agree. The people that have it together, quote unquote, like internally, they're still going through it. Like they're still a wreck when it comes to themselves. Yeah. So that makes so much sense with like the focus turning on oneself.
Yeah.
Okay. So interesting.
I'm going to tell you how I found human design so you can understand why I'm having that self-doubt.
Yeah.
One, I'm a 6'2", right? So that two line drives me insane because it's so intuitive and then I don't have any proof, right? Anyway.
Totally.
In 2022, I became obsessed with combining astrology and the chakras. I'd made a whole workbook. I was trying to figure it out, but I was like, is this right? Is this accurate? Something felt like I was missing. And I just kind of put it down. 6 months later, I find human design. And I could not stop laughing because it was like I literally tried to call it in. So I think for me, what makes me feel doubtful of it is I feel like I already know human design. And that makes me feel crazy if I'm being 100% honest, because I'll intuitively feel like I need to do things. And then I look at my human design and it's like, yep. So it's like, I say I'm not an expert because I don't think I have like 10,000 hours of study time. But what's really weird to me about human design is like, it really is, if you're just living authentically, it's right there. Human design is so interesting to me. It's so weird how it popped into my life. So I wanted to share that.
That is really, really cool and interesting. Human design also popped into my life, and how I got certified in it is like I actually won the course. It was like over a $2,000 course. I never fucking win at anything. Nothing.
I love that.
And
this is like, this is what you're supposed to be doing.
It was like an Instagram giveaway. Like, who actually wins those things? And
that's so cool.
I still have the text message that I text two of my friends and I was like, I just signed up for this human design course because I've been playing around with it, but I'm a Manny Jen. And so I'm like, this is going to be something that I pick up and I'm going to drop. I don't want to invest over $2,000 into something that I'm just going to like leave.
Right.
And so I was like, I just like, I can't invest that kind of money. But then I entered the giveaway and I messaged two of my friends and was like, I'm going to win this giveaway. And like, I had no doubt in my mind. And then before you know it, here we go. I'm getting a notification that I won it. That was crazy.
I love that. That makes me so happy. I love stories like that. That's literally you being like, well, I don't know, it seems kind of cool, but whatever. And then the universe is like, we put this on your path because you're supposed to do this. What are you doing? Like, back over here. Do you know what I mean? Like, it was kind of like, and this is exactly like what we were talking about. You don't have to be drug. You can find the little breadcrumbs and just follow the breadcrumbs. And I really do think that comes from learning to not be so afraid of being in a human body. Mm-hmm. And I really think that's what human design does, is it helps you understand like the different sensations you're feeling and the different aspects of yourself. And I don't know, I love it. That's so cool.
The thing that I love the most about human design is like every other self-discovery system, I would say even astrology for me. And by the way, I have like a tiny understanding of astrology. Okay. It's like nothing serious. So I could be wrong in my perception of it. But it's like, it's amazing. It teaches us so much, but it never gave me a way forward.
Right.
There's no path. There was no anything to follow. It's kind of like I compare it to like the Enneagram. Like you learn your Enneagram and you're like, this is you when you are good. And this is you when you're stressed out. And there, it's you.
Exactly. That's it.
And
what do I do with this?
Right. It gave me nothing to do with it. So that's what I appreciate about human design is like, it's actually a way forward and it's a way to like navigate your astrology, navigate all of these different parts of yourself. And that's what I love the most about it. That's what I think is like so transformative about it. But okay. So I forgot where we were going with it. But yeah, that is my favorite part about human design. And I think that that's the part that I just like want everybody to know about it, because I think if everyone knew, they would be like, sign me up. I need to know about this.
Yes. Yes. Yeah. And I think like, I don't want to say that other coaches don't know what they're doing, because there's so many different processes and there's so many different things. I have never seen anything so specifically hit every single client's needs. Like, this is the thing with human design that I think some people get it, right? Because they spend thousands of dollars trying to understand it and, learning the things. But I think people don't really understand how powerful it is, because I completely agree. So my first love was tarot, and tarot really led me into astrology. But with astrology, there was a point where I just felt like I don't want to say saying the same thing, because obviously everybody's chart is so different, but it's like it just felt like no matter how deep I got, there was like this missing step. Sometimes I wouldn't be satisfied by the readings I would give because I felt like something was missing. And this is where human design is so good, because every time I do a human design reading, I feel so lit up inside, because I know if they just listen a little bit, things are gonna get better for them. Like, if they take one thing from what I said in their human design reading, something is gonna be better for them. And it's probably going to pull them deeper into at least trusting themselves, bare minimum, which is always, that is like my main goal with everything I do. So I love it. I think it's so cool the way you can be so specific. And then I feel like something that I do see a lot of people say is like, it makes people feel like separated, or they're more special because there's only like 1% of the population are reflectors. But I think that's a very surface level look at it, because I don't think people realize the percentages are just to help you understand how common it is for you to have your energy. Being common or not doesn't make it easier.
I totally know what you mean. I had this conversation the other day with a friend, and we're both MGs, and we were talking about their non-linear way of doing things and being things. And she's like, what is like the most linear type? And so I was like, I mean, that's kind of like, it depends on so many different factors of their chart and like how they operate, whatever. But I went down that rabbit hole with her. And then she's like, man, wouldn't it be so nice to just not live in response, to like not be responding to everything? And I was like, well, yeah, but listen to this. And then you list off the struggles that every other type has. And it reminds me of this saying that was like, if you're going to be jealous of someone's life, it means you want to take on every single aspect of their life, everything. Who actually, like, I wouldn't want to take on every aspect of anyone else's life.
No.
And so then that's what I think about with human design and types, and like how people can get really frustrated that they're that type.
Yeah.
Or they can struggle to accept it. And it's like, okay, but listen, every type has their shit. And like even beyond type, every design has their struggles.
Right. And I think what's really cool, the deeper you get into human design, you start to realize the things that a generator struggles with, a projector thrives in. So if you have a projector friend, like that is the point of human design, is to build a whole village, so to speak, and an ecosystem of different types of people. So you have the full spectrum of understanding. But I think people get so caught up. I guess there's just this little, like, I have this little thing stuck in my system from, it was a mutual of mine who was like talking about, you know, how human design was found. And I just think it's interesting because most things have a positive and a negative. Most things as above, so below. But I think what's so cool about human design is it is designed around your personal energy using ancient systems. So it's respecting what we've already learned about this planet and the energies. And I just think it's so cool, because I do think it's really like a religion of the future. I hope it doesn't become an actual religion, but it really is something to live by. Like, it's something that can help make life not feel so overwhelming sometimes.
Totally agree. And the other thing that I like love about it is it's not like the other system, and I shouldn't say all the other systems, but it's not rules to live and die by. It's like it's designed to be an experiment. It's designed for you to try it on and play it out and see how it goes. And it's quite the effort to experiment with it. But there's nobody in my life that's experimented with it even this much that hasn't seen improvement in their life. So it's like the proof is in the pudding. Like, fine, you don't want to fully believe that as a projector you have to wait for an invitation. Well, why don't you just try it on for size? And even if you don't want to spend a year or more trying it out, just reflect on your life and you will see it clearly.
Exactly. I think that's the best part, is like okay, for example, my husband's a projector, right? And I feel like projectors are one of the most interesting types to me because they do know it all in some aspect. In some way,
my husband's a projector too, and doesn't that make you sick to say?
Sometimes, yes, I've learned to accept it. We're both eighth house stelliums. We're both 6'2s. We both think we're right and everything. So it's pretty funny. But yes, it does kill me a little bit because the problem is they don't understand. It's like they don't believe that they know. So they're like trying to explain it. I don't know. It's so interesting to watch too, because I'm like, if my husband is in his own space and feeling confident and like kind of standing to the side, people will actively ask him to join the conversation. I've seen it so many times, and like the room gets quiet. They all want to hear what he has to say. And I said it to him one day. I was like, do you know this happens? And he was like, no, like, what are you talking about? But it's just so interesting to really look at how we see reality is like another really interesting thing, because this is why I think it makes it interesting to notice how he sees things versus how I see them. And yes, there's always going to be like personal experience, but I really do feel like your energy type has such a huge, because that's your aura. That's what you're pulling in. That's what you're perceiving. It's so interesting to me. Anyway, a little bit of a tangent.
No, so spot on, because the same exact thing happens to my husband. Same exact thing. And then what I also find just like so amazing and cool to watch is my husband's also a line 4.
Ooh.
And the network that man has built is insane.
Yeah.
And I used to get so frustrated with him that he wouldn't like interject into conversations. He wouldn't like include himself, anything like that. And now I'm like, you do you. I love this. I love this for you. But like the network, the amount of times that man's phone rings and then on the other side is like, hey, yeah, do you know anybody who does blah, 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 blah? Like if it's a blue collar worker, my husband can set you up.
I love that so much.
And it's like the most bizarre thing. It doesn't have anything to do with his job. It doesn't have anything to do with anything. It's just like Mike just knows somebody for everything. And people are always, and he's like always sourcing jobs to them. And then they're always doing him favors. It's so cool to watch.
It's so cool.
It's so cool to watch. And yeah, it's like just things like that where I've realized in my life is like knowing other people's designs has allowed me to just cut so many more breaks with my children.
Oh my God, I could not imagine.
Huge.
I could not imagine.
Huge. Like even my toddler that you just met, she's a manifesting generator, and my oldest is a projector. So we had to raise them completely differently. And just knowing that has just like, it has improved our home life so much. Oh, for instance, I know, I'm sorry, I keep gabbing. But one other thing that like is so cool and just such a like a highlight moment is I went to Punta Cana with one of my very good friends. We had a friend getting married. We partied. And I was like, just go take a nap. Like, just go take a nap. She fell asleep while we were supposed to be getting ready for dinner. I just let her sleep. I went and had dinner by myself. And then she woke up and she was like ready to go back at it. And it was great. But she was like, thank you. I really needed that nap. And I'm like, I'm sure you did. But if you think about like that would have been such an example of a time where somebody would have been up like the friend that needed to take a nap, you would have been up their ass. You would have been mad they were sleeping. Yeah. And it's like, no, you go rest.
And I think that's exactly what I love is like it creates autonomy where you take responsibility for your energy and what that means. Like, I think as a 6'2" generator, for me, one of the things that has helped me is realizing, one, generators and mani-gens have a lot of guilt around feeling joy. We got to stop that. We got to stop that. Because when you're joyful, the projectors, the manifestors around you the reflectors get that energy. They benefit from it too. So imagine if 70% of the population let themselves actually experience more joy. Things would feel a lot better if we could let go of the guilt, if we could move through, like, it's okay that some people, you can't change everything today. You know what I mean? So what you can change is lifting the vibration. And I think what's really fun about Pluto and Aquarius, it's a little bit painful. It's a little bit very in our faces, but I do think it's really helping us see the unseen things are important. The emotions, the thoughts we're thinking, what we're focused on, those things are so important. And I feel like this is where human design is so interesting, because sometimes it sounds like I'm pulling up your birthday and I'm telling you your biggest struggles. And you're like, you know what I mean? Like, what kind of sorcery is this? But it's just math. You know what I mean? It's literally just math and the energy that we're getting. And it's just how the system works. So it's so cool.
Okay. What would you say the biggest like trouble is for a projector? Let's go through each type.
I feel like with projectors, the hardest thing is their strategy. And it's because in a world where everyone just wants to keep talking and be the loudest, as a projector, you really do have to learn to be comfortable with being the wallflower and be comfortable being quiet. People are going to all of a sudden notice your presence and want to make sure that you're still in the conversation. It's hard to describe because you can kind of feel, I don't know if other people are so sensitive to energies as I can be, but it's almost like you can feel it sometimes if like the projector hasn't talked in a while. Everyone kind of looks, are you still with us in this conversation? Is this a boring conversation? Are we doing this right? Is almost how it feels. And I think if projectors understood their mind is their power and they stop letting their fear and their anxiety and those sort of things run, it would be easier to just not speak. And I think it's hard because I don't want to tell somebody to not speak up. So it's like, I think that's where it gets really tricky, is like, speak up if you're being, talked down to or things like that, but don't try to prove what you know. When you just know what you know and you are it, that's where the power really is. So that's what I would probably say for sure.
Totally agree with you. What would you say for manifester?
Manifester is, one of my closest friends is a manifester, and she is so offensive sometimes. And it's the most interesting thing to watch because, like, okay, perfect example. We're at the pool and I said something like, I need to make sure I put on more sunscreen because, like the radioactive rays or something like that. She's like, the sun is not radioactive. And I'm like, yes, it is. She's like, no, it's not. And I was like, a ball of fire can't just keep burning in space. There's no oxygen. It's radioactive. And it's so funny because if a manifestor takes that audacity and that intensity with something they really care about, they are unstoppable. Manifestors are so interesting, and it kind of bleeds into Mani-gens a little bit because you guys have both of those energies. Manifestors are more masculine. They want to go after it. They want to make it happen. And sometimes if they're not trusting themselves to just go do the thing, they start to feel like everyone's noticing them or looking at them or like questioning them. There's just sort of this like self-consciousness that can really happen. And it's only because everyone can feel the power of the manifestor, but the manifestor doesn't always feel their own power. So I think where manifestors struggle the most is confidence. If you are not a confident manifestor, you're going to have a hard time because you're going to rub people the wrong way. And it's only because you being uncomfortable about something, sometimes they're going to take it as they're the one that's insecure. And it's really hard to explain because it's all energy and it doesn't make sense in that logical sense. But a manifestor can be very repulsive and like pushing in all of the wrong ways if they're not careful. But a confident manifestor who goes after what they want, you're going to create a trail that other people want to follow. So I think the biggest struggle is waiting for permission and waiting for someone to tell them they're going to be good at it. They can do it. Just inform us, tell us what you're doing and go for it. Like, that really is the truth of it. But I think the biggest struggle I see with manifestors is like that same friend. She's been doing really well recently. And she told me she just like really didn't like her job. She wanted a different job. When she told me how it played out, I couldn't help but laugh because it was the most manifestor story of just like, well, I went downtown because I heard about this thing and I talked to this person and they had an opening. It was just like click, 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 click. And she literally helps. She's a very natural person. She makes her own deodorant. She's like very natural. And the job is like building sustainable housing made out of natural materials. It's like the most interesting, like sciencey. Oh my gosh, it's so cool. So I think that's so interesting because manifestors are so fascinating to me because I'm like, you guys literally, you have it, just go for it. But they don't always feel that way.
Yeah, totally. I am friends with a manifestor and she always laughs that she should start a podcast that says awkward encounters because she has the most awkward encounters with people. And like, it's so, you're laughing, but like to everybody that's listening, what's funny is that a manifestor's aura is almost like a bowling ball. Like they can't help it when they walk in somewhere, everybody's going to feel it.
Mm-hmm.
And so like, and you're, as a manifestor, you're unreadable. Like people can't read your energy. So like she is having this whole other situation going on in her brain and they cannot read anything that's happening. And she has the funniest fucking stories because her interactions are insane.
I would love to know her Mercury gate. I would love to know. It would be so interesting.
Her Mercury is gate 14.
Ooh. I have to hold on.
Power, skills, possession in great measure. Line name acceptance.
That's her Mercury?
Yes.
Individual empowerment. What a manifestor energy is. The ability to drive oneself towards success, wealth, and satisfaction. So it's so interesting. Ooh, to have that. It resides in the sacral. That is so interesting. So when she's having a good time and like telling a funny story, she kind of mimics like generator energy.
Totally.
Yeah. That's so interesting.
Yeah.
See, this is what I mean. I love this so much because it's not just because you're a manifestor doesn't mean you're going to act the same way. Do you know what I mean? As like another manifestor.
Yes.
It comes down to all the nitty gritty. With Mani-Gens, they have the issue of being a manifestor and a generator at the same time. So they have the warm and welcoming aura. They're not as closed off as a manifestor, but they feel that masculine surge to make it happen. But they're meant to respond. They have to wait. And that's really where that multitasking ability comes from, is like Mani-Gens can lean on their masculine, get some things done, but they have to come back to the feminine. At some point, you have to have both. And I think that's really where a Mani-Gen can be the most successful, is when they find that balance. But if you're constantly trying to push into the manifestor, you're going to get frustrated. You may even get agitated or angry because you're leaning so far into trying to make it happen. But then generators, like that's kind of the thing with generators, is it's really just feeling guilty for just being a happy person. It's like it's so weird because Mani-Gens and generators know they have the energy to do it. So it's like they feel guilty when they're not doing it, but resting helps them do it. It's so, oh my God.
Yes. No, that is like the perfect description of what happens, and perfect description of what happens as a Mani-Gen, of being like, hi, I'm going to go do it. Oh, like, oh, no, wait. Oh, I'm going to go, like, finding that balance is so difficult for me. Yeah.
And it really is, it gets into like your specific design, like where is your sacral connected?
Mm-hmm.
Like for me, it's connected to the 515 channel of rhythm. So if I'm not trusting my own natural rhythm, doing whatever I want to do as a generator, if I start to try and force anything, nothing works.
Right.
So back to that Pluto and Aquarius thing, it's like, I literally feel, I don't know if you've ever seen that SpongeBob episode where he like pulls the magic conch and he's like, you just like sit there and wait for everything to fall from the sky. Like sometimes that really is what it feels like. And that can be so hard to just trust the nothingness, the void, the silence.
Yeah.
Are you feeling good? Are you feeling good? That's like how it feels in my brain when I'm like, it's quiet. I feel like I should be doing something.
Yes. Okay. Last one is reflector.
Yes, absolutely. So, in my opinion, I think the biggest struggle reflectors have always comes back to their personal focus. I don't know what it feels like to have so much open because I have a lot of defined gates actually in my chart. So I don't know what that actually feels like to be so open, but I am very sensitive to the energies around me. So I can kind of understand that part. The thing that I think is so interesting with reflectors is they have to remember they are not their environment. One big one. Second big one is if you're disappointed as a reflector, you're not zoomed out enough. You're not looking at the flow and how things are coming together. You still think it's so hard because as a reflector, I don't want to say you're not supposed to do anything, right? Like that's not true. But your purpose is whatever you want it to be in the moment. Like, who are you in this moment? And I think that can feel very fleeting. So that can feel very intangible. But at the same time, when you go for the ride, as a reflector, if you are really, peace and love, like if you really lean into that sort of energy, you are going to have a good time. It's going to be very interesting. You're going to feel like you're just a part of this beautiful machine. But I think the moment you see suffering as something you have to fix, you see a family member that's sick that you have to take care of, and you start to like try to use your own energy, you're gonna feel depleted in a way that a mani-gen or a generator wouldn't. And it's just because you don't have the sacral energy. So it's not that you can't have a job. It's not that you can't do things. And even the 28-day cycle thing, I think would drive me insane because how do you wait 28 days for a decision? So I think a better thing to say with that 28-day cycle is really sit with yourself and reflect. You're a reflector, right? Reflect and look at when it feels easier for you to make decisions. Is it when it's a full moon? Is it when the moon is in Capricorn? Is it like those things can help you better understand what parts of yourself you trust more? So I feel like with a reflector.
Oh, I love that.
Yeah, because the 28-day cycle, not a lot of people know that. Just the only reason it's a 28-day cycle is because you experience every other authority throughout the whole cycle. So now you can learn what side of yourself you trust. And I feel like that helps you better understand, even if the energy isn't there, if you have this gut pull and you trust your spleen, go for it. You know what I mean? Instead of like waiting 28 days and like, it's about trusting yourself to be in flow. That's what is so tricky with reflectors.
I absolutely love that advice because, and I've never heard that before, but I've only been reading for 3 years and I have given 5 reflector readings, and I'm going to reach out to, I'm going to reach out to all 5 of them and give you credit for that piece of advice, because I love that idea of like figuring out where they trust themselves the most. Yeah. Like that gives them so much power. I love that.
Yeah, because I think that's the point of human design. And I think a lot of people miss that. It's not about becoming a perfect self. It's about, like, for example, I have celiac disease. I can't digest gluten. I have an undefined solar plexus. Mm-hmm. So I was trying to operate from that solar plexus with no energy, with nothing, and it depleted me. Mm-hmm. And I feel like I think this is why, like, I only ever give advice through lived experience. So human design has been a very nice challenge because I can't live in a projector's shoes. I can't live in a reflector's shoes, but I think I just like to think about how that would feel. And the way people word it is like immediately my thought is, well, how do I feel autonomous? How do I feel like I'm in my body, I'm in control? How would I feel that way? And it's like, what is the tangible thing? And it's funny because I'm obsessed with working with the moon. So I feel like I'm a Cancer Mars, and I just feel like I resonate to reflectors in that feeling of needing to trust the flow. Maybe that is my 515, channel of rhythm. Maybe that's what it is. But it's just interesting because working with the moon has changed my life. So I feel like reflectors, please work with the moon. You're going to love it.
Yeah, I love that.
Yeah.
Love, love, love that. So
For
if
sure.
you're interested in Reilly, then go follow her on TikTok. That's how I found her. She gives the most amazing advice on there, and she's so real, and you're going to love her. Second to last question. Do you feel like human design and astrology are always holding hands, or do you feel like there's ever a time where they just like don't work well together?
I love that you asked that question because I wanted to clarify. I can do astrology separate, I can do human design separate, or I can do my favorite session, which is both of them combined. And the reason is, I'm going to use Mars as a perfect example, right? Mars in astrology is what motivates you and how you do things. But in human design, your ego center or your heart center, if it's defined or undefined, can completely change the meaning of how you're motivated. So I think they go hand in hand, and it's better to look at it like astrology is more of like who you are, how you feel inside, what different aspects of yourself, maybe how you attract things, how you would do things. But your human design takes it that step further, like you were saying earlier, where you know how to actually use your energy. So there can be a Capricorn reflector, there can be a Pisces reflector. Do you know what I mean? It matters what is lit up in your chart and what gates were activated. So I just love using astrology to better understand who you are inside, and then human design, how to actually move about life and like live your life.
Literally the dream combination.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Like it's everything you could ever want.
Yeah.
And that's a great description. Okay, this is just a personal question, but as an MG, we have been told through human design not to niche down, right? Okay. But then you have all of I just recently, I'm like, nope, like niching down doesn't feel right for me. It doesn't. But I'm letting Joe Schmoes on Instagram tell me that I should be niching down. And then I'm like, should I be niching down? Like, I honestly can't. In fact, my business used to be called Human Design Decoded, and I got rid of that because it felt too niche.
Interesting.
Okay.
So I'm going to remind you that I'm going to answer it in a way that's going to answer more than this question. Okay.
Yeah.
You have to remember, people who are giving that advice have figured out a strategy that worked for them.
Totally.
And they believe that that's the strategy that works. And the real irony is I feel like a lot of those people are probably 3/5s. That's just me projecting a little bit. But 3/5s go through it, they find that truth, and that is their truth. So they have this like, damn, they really sound like they know what they're talking about. So that's why I'm assuming it's a 3/5, because they really suck me in every time. I'm like, damn, yeah, I should be doing it that way. And it's like, it doesn't work for me that way, Reilly. So I'm going to remind you, there is some really great advice out there that would be terrible for you.
God, it's so funny because I brought that up already knowing that. But it's like sometimes it doesn't even matter how far you are in your journey. Sometimes you can let that shit just simmer. It gets in. I feel so weird where I am because I logically know it. When you ask me a question,
my intuitive, I can tell you the answer. Am I letting myself just enjoy the journey? No. I'm not. I'm still trying. And you know what's so funny? A little random tidbit. If you're really, really struggling, check your Mars gate. Because your Mars gate is the thing you keep slamming into. Okay. It's the thing, if you don't know how to work with it, you're going to keep like tripping over your own feet. I can't remember the numbers right this second, but I was laughing at myself because the conscious gate is all about wanting to have a perfect system. So it just works, which is where I've been stuck for like a year and a half. I've been stuck in trying to make a perfect system, and my unconscious Mars is trusting the flow. I am literally...
That's hilarious.
I have felt like I've been hitting the gas and the brake at the same time.
Okay, I'm really sorry, but that is hilarious.
Please laugh, because I'm going to literally strangle myself if I don't just trust the process. Every time I trust the process, it works out. I have so much evidence of that. But because I'm a Capricorn sun and moon, because I've got my Pluto in my 6th, because I want to grab a hold of it and know that I know it, I keep choking my own projects. It's so funny because my husband and I had a beautiful conversation yesterday. It was like the most connected and lovely. And he's like, well, how can I help? I'm like, when I tell you I am so aware that no one can help me unless you crawled into my ears and rewired my brain for me, it's driving me crazy because I know it's only me. It's me in the mirror right now. And I think what's so interesting about your question is like, this advice out here sounds really good. This is why I have had such a hard time making content, because I know the power of my words. I think that's part of the reason I'm afraid to like do podcasts and stuff is like, am I saying useful things? Are the things that I'm putting out there either general enough that people can actually use it for themselves? And I think that's where I'm getting stuck, because I'm generalizing too much. And like, maybe I should niche down a little bit on like being specific about what I mean, but it's only because I'm trying to control the outcome instead of sharing this system that has really helped me. Like, it's so funny. It's like, and I think being a 6-2 is why we're relating so heavily too, is like, we're so aware that things are we're going to get better at it. So we don't want to be wrong now and fix it later. We want to be right now.
That like was a like hit me in the chest. That's so spot on. God forbid we're wrong right now. Ooh!
I could melt in the chair being wrong. Being wrong. One time I did a horoscope. This is like 3 years ago now. I did this horoscope. I was exhausted. I was exhausted, frustrated. Didn't know those terms back then, but that meant, Reilly, sit down.
Yeah.
So I pushed through and I'm like posting this horoscope. I have no idea what I did, but like the whole horoscope was wrong. It was like I just like did it backwards. I don't know what I was doing. I don't know. This person in the comments went through and commented and fixed, no, Pisces should be this and Aquarius should be this. I died inside. Like 20 people saw this video, died. I felt like I was dying. I felt like I was dying.
Oh, my heart is breaking for you.
Nobody saw it, but it literally ripped me to shreds. And it's so funny because it's only because I was wrong. Do you know what I mean? They weren't even that rude. It was aggressive. It was a lot. It was unnecessary.
Oh, I don't care if no one saw that video. I would know.
Exactly.
Oh, yeah.
Oh my God. So I feel like, honestly, like I feel so silly for the things that I've been struggling with, because I'm struggling with, if I post something now, it might be wrong later. Like that's really the main struggle. And I think that's so stupid.
There is like a lot coming up recently, and I don't know if like there's something in astrology or if it's just like something that like me and like the people around me that are moving through, but there's so much
that is coming up recently that's like just root yourself in love. And it sounds like it's such a cliche, annoying answer.
Yeah.
But you're like, God damn it, if I just loved myself, who cares if I was wrong? And like, if I
twitch.
I know. And then like, if I loved myself, I would just operate from the heart center and try it instead of trying to control the outcome. I would just have fun while I was doing it.
And I would maybe enjoy the journey and activate my sacral and things would be easier. Yeah, it's literally the most simple thing, but
it's not simple though.
And then God forbid you have Catholic guilt on top of because I was raised Catholic. So it's like, it's so funny. Like I love human design because it makes us realize like a lot of the issues that we have are so self-created because we're trying to replicate the programming of our childhood because it made us feel safe at one point. So we're just trying to stay safe, but that was never who we were meant to be. So you really do have to shed it.
Yeah. And the control, like just all of it. And for me, some of the mind-bending things that I've had a huge epiphany about is my not connecting with my feelings and not feeling my feelings, how that's a way for me to control. Like, it's just crazy how insidious all of this stuff is. And the random weird places that you find it. You know what I mean?
So I'm just going to tell you this because it's perfect. I cry a lot. I just want to get that out there. Okay. I'm a Capricorn moon. I'm a Capricorn moon in the 8th house who didn't feel anything for like 15 years. And I feel like I'm literally letting all of that. So it's like every day you just got to squeeze out a little bit.
Yeah.
I was doing the dishes yesterday, listening to music that I love, having a good time. And I just kind of thought out loud. I was like, I really miss drawing. I miss art. I started sobbing, bawling. And it was like the weirdest, it came out of nowhere. It felt like I was being attacked by an emotion. It was literally, I was like, what is going on right now? And then I sat with it. I was like, okay, wait a minute. I feel like if you would have told 25-year-old me this, she would have made fun of me. She would have been like, girl, there's serious things to get to. Like, what serious things? Find your joy. That is the most important thing you could do. Find your joy.
And like, what's more serious than recognizing how you've withheld joy from yourself? That's heartbreaking. I know. Sorry, I'm going to make you cry again. No, I feel what you're going through. I feel that coming because most recently I am like queen of not feeling my feelings. Yeah. But most recently, I was talking to my husband about how we used to jump rope on the playground and how we would do double dutch. And I was trying to think of the songs, and I was talking to my daughter about it, and I was trying to think of the rhymes that we did with double dutch. And then all of a sudden it came to me, and I like choked up. And I was like, oh no, I'm going to be one of those people now. I'm going to be one of those people.
You definitely are. You said your moon is Aquarius?
Yeah.
Yeah, Pluto is cracking that thing open.
Yeah.
Get ready. Because all the things you didn't feel, like you'll be watching like a commercial and it's going to be something completely unrelated. Like for me, throughout Pluto and Capricorn, I tried to fight it for so long until I just stopped fighting it. So it's still been like, I still feel like I'm crying, but now it's for different reasons with Aquarius in my Venus. But it's just so interesting. It's like, I really do think Pluto transiting your moon really helps you put down the armor, but you can also feel kind of vulnerable. So heads up.
Thank you.
You're welcome. How old are you, by the way? Do you mind if I ask?
I'm 34.
Okay, I'm 32. And I feel like being on the other side of your Saturn return is a very weird.
So
where am I? Why does everyone like me? What is happening? It's like time warp. Ugh.
Dude, like I have been going through it for like the last 2.5 years of just like, holy shit.
And it's only in here though. Is that what's happening to you? Because like,
well, my outer world fell apart too. Like all my friends, like it, everything just. It's okay. It's okay. But it just like, it has you going like, what is happening?
I feel like I have, in a lot of ways, it's like the exact opposite problem that most people have. Like, I love my job. I love my husband. I love where I live. Everything's fine. And my body is like, I'm like, what is it's making me, I have to research nervous system stuff. Like, that's what I'm currently researching at this point, because I'm like,
Yep. Like, I should be happy. Like,
there's literally nothing left. I removed it all. There's nothing left. So this is where I think it gets interesting, is like, now it's just practiced beliefs and practice habits. And like,
I think it's like, you're just in the phase of embodiment, right? Like we always hear that term, but I just like genuinely think that I think that's where I am too.
Yeah.
Is like, now we've learned, like, I have done so much cycle work. I've done so much work. And now it's like, okay, now we just need to wait for it to settle. Yeah. Yes.
So uncomfortable. It's so funny because I tell people all the time, like, when I first got to a place where I was safe and like we lived in this 2-bedroom apartment, it's like so much more space than where we were. So I was like seeing shadows in the corner of my eyes. I was hearing my name. I was like so paranoid, and it made me realize, like, when you are in a state of like stress all the time, your brain is just going to make things up. So it's like, it's very interesting, because this is where I love human design. And I think the only thing I think it's missing is helping understand the nervous system. But it's so weird how when you start to live your design, you notice your own personal habits. So it's like, it's easier to heal when you're living your design, because you see, like, why do I keep running into this wall right now? What am I doing? Why am I going left here? Like, what? Do you know what I mean?
Totally know what you mean. And I think you're so spot on with like the nervous system stuff, is like, when you start, like, we're all healing. We understand that it's a permanent state. But like, when you get so far down that road, you realize that now you're literally fighting your body.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yes. Mm-hmm. So I also love, we're both on the reef in our 6-2 phase. Yeah. So
that was also a weird transition.
What, for like, I feel like for me, it literally went from like, nobody was listening to anything I was saying to like me having a seat at the table and like people all like listening. Like, for me, I mean, astrology mainly, but it was like, 2020 happened during my Saturn return, which is also like a bit of a mind warp. But the reason that's relevant is like, I feel like I kind of got separated from society and then like came back in after my Saturn return. Ooh. And it's so weird to be kind of a totally different person, and like everybody else kind of reacts to each other differently. I think it's so interesting, because this is why I'm such a believer in, I don't want to say shifting realities and make it seem like things are like a totally different world. It's the same world. It's just, you're seeing it differently. You're seeing it from a new perspective. Mm-hmm. So I don't know.
Yeah. But when you wake up one day and you're like, I am not who I was yesterday. Like, I don't know who I am, but this is not the same me. That is a really great take on the 6-2, how you felt like now you had a seat at the table. I actually would agree with that. Yeah. But what I felt like was so weird is I felt like I had a seat at the table, but for some reason I also felt so aloof, like so pulled back, so on.
Oh, yeah.
That was the weird thing for me when I went on the roof. Yeah.
Okay. What's funny is I don't know if that's maybe being like my 8th house sun and my moon both being the 8th. Like, I like being a wallflower. I like kind of being hidden in plain sight. So I think the way it feels for me is like there is this separation, and like in my daily life, I literally only talk to my husband and my cats. So it's like I am very much in this like hermit phase on the roof, not really being near anybody. But I think it's just weird how now I've been doing the same things, but now it's like people notice. And I'm like, I'm like, whoa, why are you looking at me now? I thought you couldn't see me.
That's how I am
like
too,
that.
for sure.
Yeah, it's like, so my perfect example, that manifestor friend had a birthday party, and I just like, someone was talking about something and I said something about astrology, and the whole table like turned and they were like genuinely interested. No one was making fun of me. And it was like literally was like, I think what's so irritating to me is now I'm just getting used to, this is going to sound so fucking sad. I'm so sorry. But now I'm getting used to being loved, like being appreciated. People actually want to hear my words. People want to book with me. What the fuck? Like, that's so different from before when it was like, oh, you'll never even graduate. Like, you're not even smart enough for this or whatever. And it's like, I still graduated with like a 3.8, by the way, but it's like it was the mindset that I was given. And now that old mindset tries to play in, and it literally doesn't make any sense. It's so weird.
Yeah. Yeah. Like your reality doesn't support your mindset. Yeah.
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 So
that's
it's like
really cool. Yay
so
for you.
weird. Thank you, because obviously I'm doing something right.
Yes, you
but
are.
This is where I'm definitely, I don't know, I'm looking into like hypnosis or something, because I'm at a point, everything is actually good. And now I just have to believe that. Like, that's it.
I resonate with that too. And it's like, everything is actually good. Why? Like, is it the generator guilt? Like, you know what I mean? What is it that's stopping me from experiencing the good?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I completely feel it. I don't have an answer fully yet, but
I know. I mean, it's probably different for each person, but
yeah, true. Yeah. Very true.
Okay, well, I feel like I could sit here and talk to you for the next 6 hours.
Yeah.
It has been so wonderful connecting with you, and I can't wait to connect with you in the future.
Thank you so much for this. I really enjoyed myself.
I know, this was so much fun.
All right, that's it for today's episode of Oops, I'm Evolving. Thanks for hanging out and diving into the messy, real shit with me. If you're loving the vibe, make sure to follow the podcast, leave a review, and find me on socials to keep the conversation going. Remember, growth isn't always pretty, but damn, it's worth it. Catch you next time.